Hi, what's up, everybody?
Live?
Welcome to the StationOfPlay Podcast. We're going to talk about some tech news and some gaming news, what we played this week, a little bit of Grand Theft Auto, Microsoft, Apple, and more Apple, looks like. Yeah, a ton of Apple stuff. So we're going to
But
get into
Apple
it.
stuff.
I'm
Tax
Ken.
stuff.
That's Charlie. Charlie, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I had a strange week because my wife and my daughter were adventuring in California for some real sad shit. So I was here, right?
Mhm.
Doing my thing, playing some music. I got my Bigfoot festival tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
Are you guys going to be recording at the time, or is it just...
We're gonna do some live stuff, I think, on our main talking day on Saturday.
Okay.
But that's gonna be at like 2 p.m. I think.
Plug it in the chat.
Yeah,
or something. DNR Paranormal Podcast Saturday at whatever time. I don't know.
Yeah, like 2 Eastern Standard Time. So for all you West Coast folk, it'll be like 11.
Okay.
So
well, if I'm awake, I'll catch
big
it.
fun. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. How you been?
I'd be lying if I said I had a great week, but it'd be like that sometimes. I saw your lovely wife for dinner yesterday. That was a good time. Got my mind off of things a little bit, and hers as well.
Hell yeah,
I would
dude.
hope. So that was fun.
She was real happy to see you and hang out.
Yeah, it was a good time. Plus, Yard House is dope. I like Yard House. They got the Wisconsin cheese curds.
No one doesn't like Yard House.
Even though they're not really, they're still phenomenal, but they're not really Wisconsin cheese curds. Let me get that out of the way right now. Yeah. But that was cool.
They also have a selection of like 500 beers. So
they have a ton of beer. It's like more beer than most breweries out here.
So. I could not imagine bartending there and having to find the beers. Like you gotta. Like, imagine your first day there, and they're like, I want a purple cranberry ale by something blessed.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay. And then you got to walk around, like, every tap to find it because it's your first fucking day bartending.
Yeah. They have, like, it's like a 20-foot by 10-foot island center bar thing. And, like, the entire inside part of it is all taps. It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
But, what else this week? Oh, I started a new job. That's going pretty well. I'm the administrative clerk now at Qualcomm.
Yeah.
Over at BB, nice, Charlie knows.
I've been there.
Yeah. That was the best place. Me and Charlie worked together for a while.
Yeah. That was the best building to get a shift at, BB, because the patrols were ridiculously short, and you were there alone. And no one would ever show up, really.
Yeah, I used to love working back when I was a security guard. I loved working graveyard shift there. So the patrols would take 10 minutes.
And you can literally just
rest of the hour.
Play games and hang out.
Yeah.
Not really.
I would never, Charlie.
Would never.
They've actually gotten a lot more strict on that now. I'm kind of glad I'm not a security guard anymore. If you miss a point now, it's like... it's bad. It's a bad time. Yeah, because people were missing.
People just weren't doing the patrols.
Yeah, people were just missing points and giving stupid reasons in their reports for missing them. And Qualcomm finally was like reading all of them, and they're like, "Hey, why are we paying you?"
Yeah.
So Allied was like, "All right, enough of this shit." You guys actually have to do stuff, but it's cool because like my job, I actually do work all day, and I'm actually a good worker, so it's never been a problem for me. Plus, I don't have to fill out any of those reports or anything like that. You know what's funny? I noticed too, whenever, what were they called? Whenever, like, say you were walking around and you saw a broken light or something, you'd have to fill out that long-ass form on the computer.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was called? I forget off the top of my head. But
I think they were just incident report.
Incident report. That's it. You fill out this long fucking page of 10 million different things. What, where, when, why, and how. And it's just to change a light bulb. Where you guys end up sending that to the account managers, I also do that in BB. And literally for me, it's you click on the page, drop down, you hit BB, you click electrical, you click light is out in X room, and then you hit submit.
Yeah. Oh man, that's way
you
easier.
You guys filled that out so the account managers could just fill out the same thing I do now. That takes 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. Pain in
dumb.
the ass for no reason.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was my adventures this week. We can get to one we played this week. We'll do WoW last.
Okay.
What did you play besides WoW this week?
Supermarket Simulator. I sure did actually. Dude, I fucking love the supermarket, man. I love it.
How are you guys doing?
Good time. Obviously, I played chess. Good, dude. We are doing fairly well. The store's getting bigger. We've already expanded once. And we've got a lot of products. We've got 4 employees right now, all doing their thing. We have a security guard.
Nice.
He just beats people with a broom outside. Sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just a good game. Me and AJ do it like sporadically. We'll do like one night of the game. It like one randomly. So we'll play like for like one night in game, and it takes like 30 minutes, and then that'll be all we do for the day. So it's just like kind of progressively building over time like that. So it's cool. We'll just be chilling. I'll look at him and be like, "You want to go to the supermarket?" He said, "Let's go to the supermarket."
That game's definitely better in short bursts for sure.
Yes. Like 100%.
We got Dylan.
Yeah, I played more Baldur's Gate too.
Oh, you did? How did Baldur's Gate go?
Good. Okay, here's my problem with Baldur's Gate. I keep playing with other people, and then they always want to start new campaigns. So I've played Act 1 like 6 times.
Yeah.
Okay. And I started a campaign by myself, and I just keep getting fucking bored because I know Act 1 so fucking well. So it's kind of taking the joy out of the game. So I'm very excited to not play with anyone else for a minute so that I can just get through Act 1 and play 2 through 3 by myself.
Yeah.
And then I'll play with other people again.
Because one of these
starting that game off with a party is no good.
Yeah. One of these days, we might as well just finish that one campaign we started because old boy is like never online, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, never.
We should just finish that. But yeah, Baldur's Gate, man. Good stuff. I've only beaten it once. Oh, we got Dylan in the chat. I got to fill out forums, email why goals are not hit, why we talk to someone without selling to them multiple times a day. Dude, I forget what they're called, but like jobs where you have to just hit a specific target and they don't care how it's done. Dylan could probably answer that in the chat. There's like an acronym for it, but those type of jobs are just like killing the American dream, bro. Like you have like cops, like quotas,
jobs. Yeah.
And it destroys the quality of work. I feel like, I don't know.
100%. Yeah. You should be looking for quality, not quantity in everything you do. Yeah. And with good quality work, quantity will come. But if you start off saying, you have to get 6 of these done, like now, and it's something that should take a lot of time and effort, you're going to get 6 shit jobs done, you know? Yep. Or bullshit jobs, or people are going to fake shit. And that's why, that's why shit gets skipped over. So, that's why cops are, giving people random fucking tickets on the side of the road, because they have to make it look like they're fucking actually doing something. What if no one's breaking the fucking law, though?
Doesn't that mean you're doing your job correctly?
Yeah.
Dylan chat again. It's good money. It's just soul sucking, and no matter how good you do, one day if you don't do well the next, they act like you have never done anything. Yeah, that's the what have you done for me lately mentality.
I hate to tell you, that's fucking everything in life, though. Like, honestly, I mean, my job now, really good. I made that like automated system for the LSP files for CAD.
Yeah, you showed me that. That's really cool.
I sent them to my boss and everything, and he's like, "Holy shit!" Like, because he didn't know how to computer, so he's like, "You saved us so much." I was like, "Yeah." So I'm in the
Where's your raise?
Now. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. No, he's actually really good about giving raises and just rewards and
that's good, man. That's
fun
one thing that
stuff.
sucks about
Yeah.
contract. Technically, I'm a contractor, I guess. So,
Yeah.
like, I want a raise. You're like, tough shit. Like, we couldn't if we wanted to. Like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's just the problem with, like, I think that's just not, this is not a political podcast. That's just a problem when you work in a society where it's profit above all else and consistent profit above all else. And you, as the owner or CEO or president of a company, your only goal in life is to make more money than you did last quarter. That's when you get quotas like that. But that's as far as I'll go into that. That's a whole nother, maybe we'll make another podcast about that, but not here.
Yeah.
Did you play anything else this week?
Really, dude. I've been focusing a lot on work and just getting a lot done. It's been kind of zenning. Dude, I like my job. That's weird, but I do. I enjoy it. Especially when I get free range to do whatever the fuck I want without someone breathing over my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that aspect of my job as well.
Yeah. They're like, get this project done. And I get the project done. They're like, good job. They don't tell me how to do it. They give me free range to do fun shit like this where I make LSP files to do it for me. And
that's really cool. I wouldn't say I have that much freedom, but it's definitely like the account manager and supervisor, they don't go to BB. Like they only come over there if something goes wrong, and it's never me. So I'm just kind of chill all day, and it's really nice. I played Final Fantasy again. I'm still working my way through it. I have 60 hours in that game now, dude, and I think I'm like maybe 2/3 of the way done with it. It's such a fucking slog.
Yeah.
And I found, if you can skip the open area parts, that I hate, but if you do that, you're severely under leveled. So I like tried to skip one area, and then I saw like the recommended level for the next part, and I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be horrible.
Which Final Fantasy?
7. Rebirth.
7,
the remake. So
did you ever get through 10?
No. I'll play 10 as soon as you play 6. How about that?
Deal. All right, that's a deal. We'll do that.
But I had no problem with 10. I'm starting college next month, and I'm trying to like finish some of my games that I started and never really finished. And Final Fantasy VII's like the hardest one, so I'm trying to knock that out. What else? World of Warcraft, I guess. That was the only other game I played this week.
Cool. We've been playing the game wrong. Dungeons is the way to go.
Dungeons
fucking
is
spam
the
the dungeons.
Dude. And
it is so much more fun.
To level 40.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, level 40 is like, that's when in classic World of Warcraft, that's when you get your mount, and that's when just like the entire game changes. And we're like, how close are you to 40? I'm like 39 and a half. You're probably a little bit farther than me.
I'm 39.
We're like
39 and a half.
So close to getting there, and that's like a huge deal in the classic World of Warcraft. We got Alan in the chat. I have a goal to insult Charlie twice and complete 2 quests in one podcast time. Well, you better hurry up, because we might be doing a little truncated version of the podcast today, because we are trying to hit level 40, but we'll see how it goes. No, we won't cut you guys off too soon.
Insulting me is easy. Hurting my feelings is difficult, Alan. I encourage you to give it a shot.
Yeah, you just, hey Charlie, you're fat, and he'll just make a joke about it. Like,
yeah.
We got Dylan in the chat. If you want to challenge yourself, try complimenting him.
That's the fastest way to my heart. You're sick, Charlie. I like that.
He'll just say something about his dad in high school or some shit. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's starting to get dark in here. I gotta turn the light on now. I still look good.
Yeah.
All
right. GTA.
Delete this. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I was reading the chat. We can get into a little bit of GTA. We got Grand Theft Auto 6 being delayed until May of 2026. But
surprise, Rockstar pushing a game back. Weird.
I was 90% sure they were going to push it back. I didn't think they were going to push it back to a year from now. Like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I no longer particularly care at this time. Hit me up in 8 months. But I was like, damn, that is unfortunate. But they did drop a new trailer to accompany the news. How did you feel about that? I know you have some notes on that.
Yeah, the trailer's fucking ridiculous, dude. Fucking
the game looks beautiful, I will say.
The game is absolutely beautiful. If you look at the fucking beer bottles that he's carrying out, you can see the water flowing inside of them. If you like zoom in, the TV it's playing has a reflection on the coffee table. There's like real life reflections in the game. It's super ridiculous, super cool.
That is called ray tracing. Vocabulary for the day.
But it's sick. And I'm really excited for it. I'm glad they're pushing the date back, honestly, because Rockstar's been kind of known for pushing their dates back and releasing really good games. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, its release date was pushed back like fucking 4 times, I think.
Not only that, they it's known as crunch culture. For a lot of their games, like employees have been like, yo, we're working 120 hours a week. This is not okay. Type shit. So I would rather they push the game back and don't kill their employees or release a half-finished game. Like I'll never be particularly upset about a game getting delayed. But I did want to talk about kind of how they frame this and if it will hurt the hype or not, because they said for so long they said absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And then they just come out and be like, this might not be an exact quote, but I think one of the lead developers on the game was like, yeah, we're not saying anything right now because we want to build hype for the game because we know this is an awesome game. We just want to keep building hype and building hype and building hype. And then they're like, oh, by the way, it's delayed. I was like,
yeah.
Building hype for what then?
The other thing is, too, I wonder how it's going to affect other publishers for other games, because a lot of publishers wouldn't want to release a game during the same time Rockstar puts out a brand new game just to avoid the competition. So maybe we'll see some dates come forward, maybe some dates pushed back even further for other games coming out, too.
Well, not only that, we had some games that this year, like GTA was supposed to, like, the rumor was like September, and you had companies like adjusting based on that timeline, and now that timeline doesn't exist. So very interesting to see how that kind of works. Like Borderlands, a lot of people speculated that they moved up Borderlands because they thought GTA 6 was going to come out sometime in like mid to late September. So I don't know. It'll definitely be interesting to see that. Got anything else on GTA? We got Alan in the chat.
No, dude.
The beer bottle spinning. Yeah, you read it. I can't English.
The beer bottle spilling in the pool was bubbling out like had fizz physics. Yeah. No, it's fucking ridiculous.
I didn't look that much into the trailer, but I mean, it looked. I only watched it once, but it looked amazing from what I saw. So that's really
good. Also, I don't think this delay is going to affect the hype at all after releasing a fucking trailer like that. I think people that are excited about the game are still going to be excited about the game. Anything that might just increase hype, it's going to increase talk. Now, if they delayed it again, maybe, but I still see a lot of excitement about GTA 6. And normally when Rockstar makes delays like this, it's for good reason. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 was fucking killer. It was a sick game. Yeah. They came out with it was perfect for what it was. So I trust Rockstar. It's not like Activision pushing a Call of Duty back because that's just for fucking money,
Yeah, it's a fair point, and I would agree with it.
So,
well, that's good. GTA 6 May next year, hopefully. Please God.
Yeah.
We got Microsoft shutting down Skype finally. We talked about this in previous podcasts a little bit, but that was the announcement that they were going to shut down Skype. Now they are actually shutting down, or they shut down Skype this week, I believe. I want to say it was like May 3rd, but don't quote me on that. But in doing so, they're asking everybody to switch over to Teams. Have you used Teams at all?
Okay. Teams has benefits, okay? Let me start with that. It's very well integrated with Microsoft 365. So you can
I will agree with that.
incorporate.
It helps with Outlook.
Yeah.
You know, the calendars, they all merge and shit. But anyways, continue.
Yeah. So you can incorporate and integrate different documents from like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, blah, 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 without switching apps at all when you're using Microsoft Teams. Second of all, Outlook is my favorite email system that I have. I use Outlook because it was where my work email account's on. It's my calendar on there. I can have access to everybody else's calendars. So like I know
I do as well. Yeah.
who's on a conference call right now, and it's really good. I like that. That being said, they're doing some good things with allowing people that don't really want to make a whole new account log into Microsoft Teams with their Skype usernames and information.
Actually, I don't know if you saw that. That's good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So they're making it super easy. The problem I have with Teams is sometimes conference calls get kind of fucked on there. And it's mainly with people. If you're like when I'm working with like in construction, we have everybody from the core group all has Microsoft Teams accounts. Okay. But when the general contractor hires an electrician or a carpenter or a welder or who else, they may have it's a lot of a hassle explaining how to get them into Teams meetings. Okay.
Oh, I can imagine.
So I much would rather prefer just using Zoom for conference calls, and that's what
specifically
we do
for video calls. Even
specifically for video calls.
At Qualcomm, we pretty much only use Teams as well, and even like everybody there knows how to use it. Like nobody even uses their desk phones or anything like that, or their cell phones. Really, even everybody uses Teams. Even knowing that and with that knowledge from the user base, the video calls specifically, they're just finicky. I don't know. I always seem to have a problem with it somehow. But I will say the chat and the calendar integration, I've never had. People talk mad shit about Teams, but I've never had that much of an issue with it. So
yeah, perfect comment. Teams was the worst thing I've ever used until I actually used it. Now I rely on it. Yeah, if you have a group of people that are really good with Microsoft Teams and Outlook and want to take advantage of the file sharing with OneDrive and SharePoint, it is great. It is a lifesaver. It is really, really fucking good. But it just takes, a couple of people to not know what the fuck's going on. And
it's just completely useless.
It's really good for internal systems.
It's good if you know how to use it.
My company uses Teams. I'm going to train all my people to use Teams. But if you're working with outside sources, that can be an issue. So I'll just leave it at that. I mean, there's not much more on it. It's Microsoft Teams. You either fucking use it and love it, or you never fucking touch it. So
another thing I want to talk about was why did Skype fail? Why did they fumble the bag so hard, dude, during COVID? What the hell happened? Why did Skype completely fall off and Zoom just became like the best? I mean,
dude, it's like they didn't fucking care. That was their opportunity. That was their opportunity to jump in and be like, cool, we're relevant again. Fucking use this. We're going to make it great for work meetings. We're going to make it great for this, this, and this, and this. And they didn't. They didn't do any of that shit. So they missed the mark. That's what happened. I don't know if that was intentional. Maybe they were focusing more.
Was they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
We got Alan in the chat. Hot take: Microsoft bought it.
Microsoft.
Maybe. I mean, ultimately, it's Microsoft would have had to have advertised it. So yeah, technically it would be Microsoft's fault, because they could have been like, hey, y'all can't go outside or go to work. We have had this app for fucking a decade and a half that lets you talk to people with your computer camera. Like, that's really all you had to do to stay relevant during COVID. And they just let Zoom completely take over, and it just collapsed.
I wonder if Microsoft did that intentionally, though, too. Because, so they bought Skype to get rid of Skype, take their best qualities, and incorporate it into Microsoft Teams.
Oh, the Walmart
and
method.
And a closed network, Microsoft Teams is the best, if you ask me. But for communicating with your friends and stuff like that, not the best. Kind of the worst. It's really good for business inside your own company. But
that's an interesting take, and I could definitely see them doing it. I just feel like they could have had Teams as like the business app, and they could have had Discord as like, or Discord. They could have had Skype as like the Discord killer, and they just didn't even try. I feel like, and I'm not saying what they should or should have not done. I'm not a fucking businessman, but I feel like they could have like gone against Zoom and Discord and made something really special. And it's just unfortunate that they didn't even try. We got Dylan in the chat. Instead of rebranding and adding things, making it better, they decided to just make a new product instead. Yeah, kind of. We also got Alan in the chat, making it hard to insult you when I 10,000% agree, Charlie. Yeah, dude, say something dumb. Like, what are we doing here?
You picked the worst night to insult me, Alan. I did a lot of research.
He actually read shit this time.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Make fun of his Turtle Beach headset, nerd.
Yeah, Turtle Beach. Who is that?
Man. What else we got?
You want to talk about Apple and Epic Games?
Yeah, we got a lot of Apple stuff to talk about this week. Okay. Holy shit.
I just read the pretty much a simple breakdown of what just happened with Epic Games versus Apple.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to take a couple seconds. All right. In April of 2025, a U.S. federal judge ruled that Apple violated a 2021 injunction from Epic Games lawsuits, imposing a 27% fee on external purchases and restricting developers from directing users to alternative payment methods. So the court found Apple in contempt, citing the company had not fully complied with the original order. Apple has appealed this ruling, arguing that mandated changes could cause serious and irreparable harm to its business model. The company is seeking a pause on the enforcement order while the appeal is considered. Epic Games is like, fuck yeah. Very celebratory moment for them. Apple, not so much. Yeah. But pretty much Apple tried doing some fuck shit and was told no, is what my take on it was. Pretty simple. How is this going to affect shit, though? Because I know they're appealing it. They're already talking about appealing it. So how long will this ruling last?
I don't know enough about case law, like for stuff like this specifically, and I guess nobody's really delved into this yet, but it was mostly focused on the allowing app developers to provide links to external payment sources specifically. Yeah. So
they're not just using Apple Pay and shit.
Yeah, and not only that, it's very specific. Like you hear people talk about developing apps for Apple, and they're like, we can't even say that you can pay for this somewhere else, like at all. And if you do, they just take your app off of the store, which that's kind of anti-consumer, if you ask me. But I don't know. My YouTube Premium, I was for like 3 months, I paid for YouTube Premium on my iPhone, and I realized it was like $3 cheaper if I just canceled my subscription and then redid my subscription on my freaking computer. Like, the Apple tax is a real thing, and it really sucks because these companies can't say like, hey, it's literally cheaper if you just do this not on your iPhone. That part is a specific part that kind of rubs me the wrong way. I think if you're Apple, you can kind of force people to pay whatever you want to be on your app store, because if you don't like it, go to a different one. But for them to be like, yeah, you can't even tell people they can save money if they go literally anywhere else. That's kind of fucked up to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know a whole lot about it.
Also, a 27% fee on using external purchases is fucking terrible. That is not very kosher, and that's I don't know. It just seems like they were asking for trouble when they did it. So
yeah, they pushed it just a little too far,
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, we got Alan in chat. I was waiting for his take on this. Forcing people to only pay through iTunes and nowhere else for the simple fact of gouging 27% every time is really bad from Apple, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's coming from Alan. Like, dude loves Apple, but yeah, I agree. Like, it's bad. I don't even know what kind of rules that's breaking or laws that's breaking, but like if there isn't a law for it, there should be. And I agree. We also got Apple being then referred to federal prosecutors by the judge for possible criminal charges for contempt of court. So did you look into that specifically at all? There was a lot of information on it. Apparently somebody during the case like blatantly lied to the prosecutors, and now they're potentially seeking like more like actual criminal charges for that individual. I forget his name, but that's a thing that happened. So don't lie in court, kids. We got Alan in chat again.
In court.
They weren't charging more or less like the mobile versus PC thing for Twitch subs or some, but damn. For what I understand, like some applications they did, some they didn't. That's why I just bring up like the YouTube examples for me specifically, because that was a thing. Or I think it costs literally like $3 more to get my YouTube premium subscription on my iPhone, which I wasted money like for absolutely no reason other than Apple wanted it, which is
Did you hear about
really
the App Store Freedom Act?
No, that's the thing. What's that?
Okay. Yeah, in the U.S., the App Store Freedom Act has been introduced, aiming to promote competition by requiring major app store operators like Apple to allow third-party app stores and alternative payment methods. The bill also seeks to prevent apps or operators from favoring their own apps over competitions or competitors.
That's pretty much what the court ruled, so I'm guessing they're trying to actually make that a law, which is really good. Yeah. I hope that passes. Yeah. That is a good idea.
Well, this is gonna basically make Apple allow not Google Play, but like things like Google Play to be on Android devices. Yeah, is what they're aiming for.
That's good. I'm for it.
That's a good thing. But I don't know how that would work though, too, because they're gonna have to. I mean, I guess they would just have to make the app stores allow, like, because you're gonna need the specific Apple file from the store.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna have to, like, I don't know.
Here's the thing, and this is one problem I've always had with Apple is downloading APK files. It's called sideloading.
Yeah.
Right. You just go into Google, you type in "I want this file" on my phone, and you can do it on an Android. And it's one thing I've always been really passionate about. It's my phone. I pay for the damn thing. Let me download whatever I want on it. That would probably be how they would handle that. You would just download it like off of google.com or whatever. We got Alan in chat. Oh, gotcha. I just meant for Fortnite V-Bucks in particular. Yeah, from what I understand, it wasn't really the cost of the V-Bucks that was the issue. Fortnite just really hated that 27%, and they were like, this is bullshit. Yeah. We're not going to do that. And that's kind of how this whole case got started. And then we got Alan again in the chat. That sounds bad to me for malware reasons, but I might be stupid. Here's the thing with sideloading, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but it can be opt-in. And it could be opt-in to such a degree that you have to go into developer options. Charlie, do you even know how to get in developer options on your phone? I do, but that's because I'm a fucking nerd. If you want to turn on, if you want to make it a toggle, Like side loading apps, on, off, turn it off by default. If I care enough to want to download Google Play on google.com, I can find it and turn it on. Nobody's grandma is going to accidentally turn that on. You know how you turn on developer options? I don't know how to do it on the iPhone, but on the Android, you go into settings and you go into like the, I don't remember, it's like it's a number, it's like the serial number or something like that, and you have to click on it 6 times in a row. And then the developer options show up. Like nobody's grandma is going to accidentally do that. So just turn it off by default. That's my take on it. We got Dylan in the chat. Seems like it would conflict with all the stuff going on with Google being on Monopoly. I don't think it would necessarily help
Not
or
with
hurt
that.
them.
Yeah.
It would just be allowing them to be on a different store. I think Google was more of a advertising thing, less like a Google store itself thing.
Yeah, if we were talking about that issue, I mean, Apple would have been the main violator of having a closed store monopoly.
That's like a whole different take, though.
Yeah, but no, the whole Google thing was more of like advertisements and not much their store, not as much their store.
Yeah, it's two separate things, and I think people, not saying Dylan is, this is like a separate topic, but I think people are getting like the two confused. I actually talked about this last week on the podcast, but Apple and Google are getting sued for different things. And I think people are like trying to compare the two. It's like, will this happen to Google? Why didn't it happen to Apple or vice versa? It's like, because they're being sued for two very different things. Google's being sued because of their advertising. That's it. That didn't really have anything to do with the Google Play Store. I'm sure that's some factor in it, but it was mostly like Chrome and stuff like that. And then we also have companies such as Spotify are immediately jumping on the opportunity to implement their own payment options. I mean, yeah, that's just an easy W by all these companies. Finally, they're like, finally, we could just tell you to pay for this somewhere else, which is crazy. But they're jumping on the opportunity. And then we got Epic Games in an apparent victory lap, in quotes, announcing there will be a $0 fee for developers for their first $1 million in sales every year. So Epic has their own store on PC, right? And it's kind of like Steam. You can download games through the Epic Store. And they're making it so developers on their platform will be getting a $0 fee for the first $1 million in sales every year, which is actually kind of dope. The only problem is the Epic Store fucking sucks. It doesn't, Alan knows this firsthand. Their controller integration is basically non-existent. We got Alan in the chat right now too. You want to hate Epic, but they're a good store company-wise. Yeah, it's just the Epic Store is garbage. It's so bad. And I don't really see them trying to make it better. Honestly, it's kind of the same thing as with Apple, because Steam also has, I think, a 30% tax or whatever the fuck for people putting games on the Steam app. And Epic was in the same way as they're kind of doing with Apple. It was like, fuck it, we'll just make our own. But the one they made is kind of shit. But for them, I mean, this is a good change, and I hope that it just leads more people maybe to develop their apps to work on the Epic Game Store, and maybe Epic will actually fix it. But I don't know. That's kind of a pipe dream. We'll see how that goes. Have you ever used the Epic Game Store at all?
Yes. I forget what for. I downloaded some shit on it. Some like weird game. Or a game it was some game. I have it on my fucking Rogue Ally for some reason. There was some shit that I wanted on there.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's kind of it's an interesting dichotomy. Like Steam and Apple, they kind of operate in the same way, but everybody loves Steam. But it's because Steam aren't assholes to their players. Like Steam could very easily be terrible. Yeah. Gabe, you are not allowed to die. If you're somehow watching this, you are not allowed to die.
Do not die. Do not die. Oh, man.
We got Alan chat. Free games every week is neat. Yeah, Epic does free games every week. I normally don't look at them though, because they're usually stuff I don't play. But
yeah,
Steam could be bad, but it's not. And let's just thank Gabe, Master Gabe, for that. Then I also have Apple planning to appeal it. Will this appeal go anywhere? Probably not. What does the appeal mean for developers? I mean, I don't know. If I was like Spotify right now, would I be a little hesitant? Like, what happens if they're telling all these people like, hey, we have a separate payment option now, and then Apple gets this reversed? What is there some like fines involved? I don't know how any of that works.
Yeah. I don't know either. I'm not a legal expert.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing. I might have to look into that more.
Yeah.
Because what happens if this does get reversed? That would be awful.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to see how companies' reaction to the appeal process is going to be, because like now they're technically allowed to do it, I think, but
kind of sort of
they see that the appeal's going through. Yeah, but they see the appeal's going through, so they're like, should we invest money into this to make our shit available?
Like I said, you have companies like Spotify immediately coming out like, boom, we're jumping on this.
Yeah.
But especially for like smaller companies that don't they aren't that nimble. They can't just be like, we already have this ready. Like, what if I'm a small app developer and I'm like, ooh, now I need to develop this into my app, but I see Apple has appealed it. So what do? Do I wait or do I develop this thing for my app?
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
You know, Apple's going to try to do something. They're pretty good at weaseling around shit.
They're so good at following the law, but also not.
Yeah.
Like
they have to change the law to make it make sense.
They didn't actually do this yet. They might. There's always rumors about this, but like with the Type-C thing.
Yeah.
Technically, they could just remove the port and just make everything MagSafe. And guess what? Now it's the lightning cable again, but it's a magnet this time.
Yeah.
Technically, that would be within the law. So that would be such an Apple thing to do, and I would not be surprised if one of the next two phones is they just remove the port and they just say it's innovation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something about e-waste. I don't fucking know. What else we got? Should other companies follow Epic's lead? The thing about this is this started I remember this starting like 4 or 5 years ago, and Epic almost gave up because it cost them so much money. Yeah. And it's kind of a shame that it took a company like Epic, the tens of billions of dollars they make off of Fortnite, it took them to actually force some change in the Apple ecosystem. And it's just kind of frustrating that had to be done, and even they almost gave up. So
that's what I got fucking Epic for. Adela wanted me to play Fortnite with her. Yeah, on the fucking road. Yeah, well, I was on the road. So that's why I fucking have it on my fucking thing.
How did Fortnite go on the ROG Ally?
I don't know. I'm fucking terrible at the game anyways. I was just playing because Adela wanted to play.
She wanted to.
So, yeah, I fucking hate the third person shit. I can't do it. And
Fortnite's okay. I don't even know what I don't like about it, really. I don't know. Maybe it's too cartoony for me or something.
The cartoon world, yeah. It's for me. It's like the shooting, but it's like not violent at all. It's like I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird mix.
It's
a weird
just
thing
weird.
going on.
I don't know. I don't like it because weird.
Yeah. Because weird.
Well, that's pretty much all I have for Apple. You want to talk about Donald Trump a little bit? This is not a political podcast.
Not a political podcast, but we're gonna bring up Donnie T real quick. So de minimis policy. Okay. So basically there was this policy for buying cheap shit from China, right?
Your Temus, your Sheins, your
whatever. And things that were like below a certain value with the fucking tariffs weren't like affecting it. Recently, I'm just gonna read this. Okay. Termination of de minimis exemption for China and Hong Kong. Effective May 2nd, 2025, U.S. ended the de minimis exemption for imports from China and Hong Kong. This means that all shipments, regardless of value, are now subject to tariffs and formal customs procedures. So that means all your shit from Temu and Shein and fucking all the little cheap bullshit you get is now also going to have it's like 145% tariff on it. Or I think there's something that can give it like a flat fee of $25 per item. I don't know what the exact
that
pressure
sucks.
is on it.
That is only bad.
Yeah. Yes, that is only bad. So companies like Shein and Temu, which heavily relied on de minimis provisions to ship low-cost goods to the U.S. consumers, are significantly affected. Temu has announced a shift to domestic fulfillment to mitigate the impact. So, yeah.
So what does that mean for America? They just won't sell as much stuff to Americans, and when they do, it'll be way more expensive. Like,
so I don't know if you've noticed, but on like TikTok and Facebook, I haven't gotten a single Temu advertisement in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're shifting more to selling domestically within China, and not to the United States. For that
sucks.
Reason. So
not only that, you have stuff on like Amazon too. That's like under $5.
Yeah.
Those will be more
those
expensive
tariffs
now. That's just how it is.
Gonna affect all your shit. Yeah.
Specifically, I want to talk to how this affected like the gaming and tech enthusiast crowd, because you have things like not every gamer can afford expensive things. You know, you have cheap controllers, you have cheap mice, you have cheap keyboards. Like, there's mice and keyboards you can get for $5, and now you simply cannot.
No, it's definitely going to drive costs up for things like that. You're going to see this hit the dollar stores. This is also one of those tariffs that is specifically going to hit poor people. Okay. Yeah. That is basically the problem here. So low cost goods that poor people that can't afford like nice versions of things will now be
dude,
more
have you
expensive.
gone to a Dollar Tree in the last 10 years?
Yeah. Oh,
there's like nothing on the shelves.
Yeah.
And they might go out of business, bro. Like, straight up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, the people that need to go to the Dollar Tree for a bucket and a mop now can't do that. Well, they're going to, but it's going to be the same price as Walmart now. So it's going to affect us a little bit more than I think people think, just because the bottom half of our society financially is going to get impacted more.
Yeah.
From this.
At some point, people simply just won't buy things anymore. And I think we're kind of reaching that pinnacle, and it sucks.
Let me just say why the U.S. said they did this. Combating illicit goods. The minimis loophole was reportedly exploiting to import counterfeit products and synthetic opioids. So basically, they're saying they did this to stop drug importation and shit. And protecting domestic industries, which is fucking stupid. The influx of duty-free low-cost goods was seen as undermining U.S. manufacturers. We're not making fucking dollar store scissors, mop buckets, and fucking mice. We don't have that. If like the American-made companies if anything, we focus on quality, because that's how we sell our products for a little bit more expensive. We're not making the fucking dollar store shit. We can't.
No,
it's not.
It won't be $1 if we did. That's
yeah. And then that final statement. Yeah.
Go for it.
They said it was to address trade imbalances. The policy aims to rectify perceived unfair trade practices and reduce trade deficit with China. Whatever the fuck that means.
Okay. Like, yes, you have China stealing the intellectual property of American companies. Number one, nobody's making scissors for $1 here to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are they stealing?
Yeah.
Number 2, yes, theoretically in 20 years, this could help out American businesses a little bit, but for fuck's sake, don't just drop a bomb on everybody all at once. If you want to bring American companies back here, and let's bring it back from politics and just talk about gaming. If you want a company to make a $5 keyboard here, don't just make all the $5 keyboards from China illegal all at once. Give people incentive to build them here. Don't just nuke everything.
Yeah. So here are some things that I was thinking are going to happen. Okay. So obviously, increased prices on goods, right? Costs, as we just talked about, are going to get higher. We're going to have a lack of supply because like companies like Temu are not, going to be selling to the U.S. There's going to be less imports in the dollar store items, less imports of cheaper products at like Walmart. We're going to see a lot more expensive things happening. Longer delivery times. So the other thing here is that there's going to be a lot more formal customs regulations because we were not equipped before to handle all of this. So we might see some increased delivery times and some operational adjustments for retailers is the other thing I wrote down, because like e-commerce platforms are going to have to reevaluate their supply chains. It's going to happen.
Oh yeah, and we as Americans have been like kind of lucky in that aspect because you hear horror stories about people ordering things in Europe and it taking months in customs. Now that's going to become a thing here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and some companies have shifted to domestic warehousing, which basically means they've ordered a fuck ton of shit and put them in warehouses in the U.S. In order to avoid new tariffs, because people don't know what the fuck's going to happen. So that hurts not only those companies, right? Because they spent a massive amount of money to get a bunch of supply in preparation for more tariffs, right? But it's also going to increase their supply. And then, so it could affect basically them having a lot of one product, them not selling it, and then them losing out, if that makes sense.
Well, not only that, there's going to be like a delayed reaction with this because, like you said, like I hear people saying, "Oh, well, I haven't really noticed the price of things going up." It's because everybody bought a shit ton of stuff, and they're going to be in stock for the next 3 months, and then come like July and August, everything's going to fucking skyrocket in price. That's what we're going to see. We got Dylan in chat. It feels like there's a nuking mindset to either aim for a better negotiating seat or he thinks it will kick us in the ass to make in America. I think he's more trying to do the second part. And yes, theoretically, this could work. But the problem with 4-year presidents and this flip-flopping back and forth between fuck Republicans, fuck Democrats, then it's switching every 4 years now all of a sudden, is everybody wants to just go the nuclear option and just get done what they want to done right now. And unfortunately, that's going to affect us as consumers because you cannot get everything made in America in the next 4 years. That won't happen. Some of it, you simply cannot make it in America, even if it's 100 years from now. And he said, I don't fucking care. Figure it out. Sometimes you can't just figure it out. So
the way it's looking to, so there's some ongoing developments with this. They're trying to do enhanced data collection for it. So requiring additional information for low value shipments to improve enforcement of compliance. Once again, that's going to basically delay shipments. We're going to have longer wait times for orders. And legislative actions are calling for Congress to codify these changes and provide agencies with more tools to enforce trade laws effectively. So, it's happening. There's nothing we can fucking do about it. But we are going to continue to see prices rise. Except now we're not worried about graphics cards as much as we are. Low-income families are able
switch
to get
from graphics cards. My weekly talk, everything's fucked. We haven't talked about graphic cards in a while, but now it's just everything in general. It's all fucked we're still fucked. Thank you for stopping by the podcast.
Yeah, not a political podcast.
This is not a political podcast.
Yeah. But now everyone knows my opinion.
Man.
So
this sucks. Now you all know that it also sucks if you didn't already.
Yeah.
I think that's it for this week, unfortunately. I have no good news. It's all bad. It's just
terrible fucking note to end on.
But me and Charlie are going to go do something that is one of the few things we still can't control in our lives. We're going to go hit level 40 in fucking World of Warcraft.
Yes, we are. We're going to fucking run this shit.
So thank you guys so much for stopping by the podcast. Make Azeroth great again. Thank you guys so much for coming to the podcast this week. We will be here next week, same time. Thank you for stopping by. We'll talk to you later. Peace.
Peace, guys.